Genesis 2:1. Thus the heavens and the earth were completed in all their vast array, meaning God finished making the sky, the earth, and everything in them. Everything was complete and just how God wanted it to be. Genesis 2:2. By the seventh day, God had finished the work he had been doing. So on the seventh day, he rested from all his work. Meaning, after making the whole world in 6 days, God decided to rest on the seventh day. He wasn't tired, but he wanted to show us that rest is important. Genesis 2:3. Then God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because on it he rested from all the work of creating that he had done. Meaning, God made the seventh day special, calling it holy because it was a day of rest. It's like a special day just for relaxing and enjoying everything he made. Genesis 2:4. This is the account of the heavens and the earth when they were created, when the Lord God made the earth and the heavens. Meaning, this is the story of how everything started, how God made the sky, the earth, and all that is in them. Genesis 2:5. Now no shrub had yet appeared on the earth, and no plant had yet sprung up, for the Lord God had not sent rain on the earth, and there was no one to work the ground. Meaning, before there were plants and trees, the land was dry because there was no rain yet, and there were no people around to take care of the ground. Genesis 2:6. But streams came up from the earth and watered the whole surface of the ground. Meaning, instead of rain, God made water come up from the ground like little streams to water the earth, so everything could grow. Genesis 2:7. Then the Lord God formed a man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living being. Meaning, God made the first man, named Adam, from the dust on the ground. He breathed life into him, like giving him a big breath, and Adam came to life. Genesis 2:8. Now the Lord God had planted a garden in the east, in Eden, and there he put the man he had formed. Meaning, God made a beautiful garden called Eden, full of lovely plants and trees, and put Adam there to live and take care of it. Genesis 2:9. The Lord God made all kinds of trees grow out of the ground, trees that were pleasing to the eye and good for food. In the middle of the garden were the tree of life, and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Meaning, in Eden, God grew many trees that were beautiful and had yummy fruit. In the middle of the garden, there were 2 special trees, one that could give everlasting life and one that could make people know about good and bad things. Genesis 2:10. A river watering the garden flowed from Eden. From there, it was separated into 4 headwaters. Meaning, a river started in Eden to water the garden, and then it split into 4 smaller rivers, spreading water everywhere. Genesis 2:11. The name of the first is the Pishon. It winds through the entire land of Havilah, where there is gold. Meaning, the first river is called Pishon. It flows through a place called Havilah, which has lots of shiny gold. Genesis 2:12. The gold of that land is good. Aromatic resin and onyx are also there. Meaning, the gold in Havilah is very good, and there are also special sweet-smelling things like resin and beautiful stones called onyx. Genesis 2:13. The name of the second river is the Gihon. It winds through the entire land of Cush. Meaning, the second river is called Gihon, and it flows through a place named Cush. Genesis 2:14. The name of the third river is the Tigris. It runs along the east side of Asher, and the fourth river is the Euphrates. Meaning, the third river is named Tigris, and it flows near a place called Asher. The fourth river is called Euphrates. All these rivers helped water the land. Genesis 2:15. The Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and take care of it. Meaning, God gave Adam the job of taking care of the Garden of Eden, like a gardener who looks after plants and makes sure everything grows well. Genesis 2:16. And the Lord God commanded the man, "You are free to eat from any tree in the garden." Meaning, God told Adam that he could eat fruit from any tree in the garden. There was plenty of delicious fruit for him to enjoy. Genesis 2:17. But you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for when you eat from it, you will certainly die. Meaning, God gave one rule. Adam was not allowed to eat from the tree that would let him know about good and bad things, because if he did, it would make him die one day. God wanted to keep Adam safe. Genesis 2:18. The Lord God said, "It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him." Meaning, God noticed that Adam was all alone and decided that wasn't good. He wanted to make a friend and helper for Adam so he wouldn't be lonely. Genesis 2:19. Now the Lord God had formed out of the ground all the wild animals and all the birds in the sky. He brought them to the man to see what he would name them, and whatever the man called each living creature, that was its name. Meaning, God made all the animals and birds from the ground, just like he made Adam. Then he brought them to Adam so he could give them names, like how we name our pets. Genesis 2:20. So the man gave names to all the livestock, the birds in the sky, and all the wild animals. But for Adam, no suitable helper was found. Meaning, Adam named every kind of animal, from the cows to the birds, but none of them were quite right to be his special friend and helper. Genesis 2:21. So the Lord God caused the man to fall into a deep sleep, and while he was sleeping, he took one of the man's ribs, and then closed up the place with flesh. Meaning, God made Adam go into a very deep sleep, like taking a nap, but much deeper. While Adam was sleeping, God took one of his ribs and then healed Adam up. Genesis 2:22. Then the Lord God made a woman from the rib he had taken out of the man, and he brought her to the man. Meaning, God used Adam's rib to make the first woman, named Eve. She was made to be Adam's special friend and helper, so he wouldn't be alone. Genesis 2:23. The man said, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, for she was taken out of man." Meaning, when Adam saw Eve, he was very happy and said that she was like him because she came from him. He called her woman because she was made from a part of him. Genesis 2:24. That is why a man leaves his father and mother and is united to his wife, and they become one flesh. Meaning, this verse explains why, when people grow up, they leave their parents and get married. They come together as a new family, loving each other like one special person. Genesis 2:25. Adam and his wife were both naked, and they felt no shame. Meaning, Adam and Eve didn't have any clothes on, but they weren't embarrassed or worried about it. They felt happy and safe, just as they were.